It's another beautiful day here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. And I'm walking today with one of my favorite comedians, magicians. You've seen him on Conan, Last Comic Standing. But right now, it's rare actually that he's in New York because he is the first comedian headliner in Cirque Du Soleil history. Cirque Du Soleil, maybe. I think I didn't say that right. Cirque Du Soleil history. You can see him starring almost every night in Mad Apple in Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, Harrison Greenbaum.
Hello.
This is so fun.
This is amazing. I love this area.
Yes.
I love the city.
Yeah, this is a special area for me too.
Yeah.
Because I lived for 2 years in that
Yes.
building. Right, can you see it? I don't think they can see it. Well, maybe we can walk by it.
Yeah, your virginity entered that building, but it didn't leave.
Did I tell you that? I lost my virginity in that building. And I think room I don't remember the room. I think it was 1104. But yeah, I had some good sex.
Oh, that was the room. I thought you remembered the exact time.
No, the time.
It was 11:03. I still was a virgin.
It was 11 to 3 to 11:04. Yeah, it was not my most impressive performance, but it did happen with a girl
Hey-o.
who said yes. All right.
That's the important part.
Well,
Consent is key.
We were dating, so it was fun. My wife's gonna love this episode.
Hey.
Okay, so you are in town right now because you just wrote a book. Oh, you happen to have one with you.
I just happen to carry one around. I carry around all day now.
Now, I got a copy of it yesterday. You had a book release party at Tannen's. It was packed.
Yes, I'm repping for Tannen's.
I had to wait in line to meet you.
You've been to Magic Camp too.
Well, I didn't go to Magic Camp. Whoa. This store looks amazing. All right, I'll see that guy later. I went to Magic Camp.
He's got 5 copies of the book. How is that even possible?
I went to Magic Camp to perform. I never went as a student, but I wish I did because there's a bunch of fun little people. All right, here, I want to show you. Should we go to Marymount, the dorms?
Sure.
Just real
That's
quick.
a great idea.
Just because it's right here. Okay,
100%.
So tell me about the book, why you decided to write this book, because from my understanding, this book was like a lecture you would do.
Yeah, so it's a motivational talk for magicians. So of course I called it "You Are All Terrible."
How do you really feel though? How do you?
It really started with that joke. I was like, and for those who don't know that magicians go to lectures, it's like a thing.
Yeah.
We have conventions. There are like at magic stores and magic clubs, they bring in lecturers.
Yeah, it's kind of
fun. And so it's
fun.
a thing. It is
Comedy
pretty cool.
should do that.
I don't know. I don't know what they would like in magic lectures. They would often teach tricks. It'd be weird for like Chris Rock to be like, "I'm going to teach you one of my jokes." Okay,
here. This is how close your old apartment is to where I used to live. So in 2004, I know exactly. It was August 30th, 2004. I moved into these dorms. I was sad because I didn't know anyone, and I was intimidated because this is a giant building, and it's tiny. The dorms. Have you been in there?
I've never been in there. Did you know that Bernie Madoff was just down the block while you were there?
He lived down here?
He was in the lipstick building. That's where he got busted.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
He was running his Ponzi scheme, not 2 blocks from here.
Wow. There was a bomb went off in a building.
What?
Like my freshman year, like down here a little bit.
That's not
like
good.
a little bit. No one got hurt. I don't think.
Thank God.
Barely made the news.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
It happened.
That's one of the best parts about New York, or one of the most New York parts about New York is that a thing will happen that would be front page news for years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even make anybody's radar.
I remember my dad called me and he was like, I was like, I'm fine. Then a little plane crashed in the city, like a small one, that made the news. But I don't know. There's a lot of weird things do happen here. Okay, and then this place here.
This was a different bar.
It was a different bar, but the day I moved, this is about me now. The day I moved into the city, I was on this episode of this TV show called Switched on ABC Family.
Yeah.
And it played the day I moved in. So my parents and I went to this bar and we were like, can you turn on ABC Family? It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so no one was in there.
And they were like, that's a channel?
Yeah, and now it's called Freeform.
Oh.
But it was it was a big day for me, August 30th, 2004, almost 20 years ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
We went to college 20 years ago?
Well, I didn't finish, so I technically could still be going to college. But no, you went to Harvard. We can't all be Ivy League dickheads like you, Harrison.
Well, now I tell dick jokes for a living, so it's come full circle.
It has come full circle. Yeah, I don't even know where to start with you because there's so much I want to talk to. But first, Where are you taking me right now?
Well, we're walking down 2nd Avenue, and we're gonna pass in a couple of blocks Mimi's, which is a fantastic Italian restaurant that's open super, super late. It's where I had my first date with my now wife.
Wow!
And it's where my
Congrats,
proposal.
by the way.
Thank you. I did it.
You did it.
I did it. And it's where I started the proposal too. So she became my girlfriend, then she became my fiance.
Wow.
All at Mimi's right down the street.
So whenever you're back, do you guys go?
Yeah, it's open late, so we usually try to go, yeah.
That's really nice.
And then during the wedding, we did this thing where the idea is you each get your own cup and you pour wine in it and then you combine the cup, and the idea is all of your cups from that point forward are shared.
Oh, okay.
And so
Cute.
our rabbi wanted us to use glasses that meant something to us. So the glass that we poured both of our wines in was a glass that Mimi's donated to us, an actual Mimi's glass.
So they know your story.
Oh,
Are you royalty there now when you go into Mimi's?
I don't know. I think it's one of those long neighborhood places where there is no royalty. Everybody is the same.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I live in the Upper East Side, and before when I lived in the city, I didn't feel like a community. You know, different pockets of Manhattan are different. But now I think where I live, it's nice.
Yeah, and there used to be a piano player there named Chicken Delicious. And he was a real character.
Wait, what?
He was the piano player.
You can't just gloss over Chicken Delicious.
His name was Chicken Delicious. He was this bald guy. He wore this like eccentric boas and jewelry. Really, really great piano player and singer. And we loved him. And we were trying to find out when he played. This was like post-pandemic. Like, when is he playing? What are his days?
Oh no, don't tell me.
And we went on Yelp, and somebody said, what days is Chicken Delicious there? And somebody just replied, he dead. And then we Googled it, and he did, but...
He did? For real, he did?
He did, and that's how we found out, was in a Yelp review.
He did?
He did.
Did COVID get him?
I don't know. It was a shame, though, because he was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's too
He's
bad.
a true New York character.
So, where is it? Is it right up here?
It's right to the left over there.
That's
Mimi's
so cool.
Italian.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place. Oh, I see it. Okay, I never went there.
You probably went to Madame Maquette's when it was the bar previously, because there was a lot of underage drinking.
Oh yeah,
back in the day over there.
I didn't do a whole lot of drinking underage.
Really?
Not a lot. Maybe like 4 times.
I think that was like the majority of my college experience.
Yeah, well.
There was a lot of drinking that when I look back, I go, how did I even survive?
Here, let's get a shot of Mimi so people can see what we're talking about here. It's on the corner of 51st and 2nd. Is that it? 52nd and 2nd.
52nd and 2nd.
There it is, right there. Mimi's where Harrison became a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way of you have a wife now.
Yeah, and it was a fun proposal because it was like kind of it was still the pandemic, so it was outdoor dining.
Should we walk to first, or where do you want to go?
Yeah, or we keep walking down, or wherever you want to go.
Yeah, let's go. Is there a park over here by the bridge? Or that's 59th, right?
Yeah, that's 59th.
Yeah, all right.
But we can walk that way.
Or whatever you want. I mean, this is you're only home for 48 hours.
Pretty much.
I feel honored that you get to spend some time with me.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I love this place. And this place opened so late. That was the beauty of it. Was my first date with Emily did not go well because there was a little bit of a miscommunication. She thought she was meeting me after my sets. And I thought I was like, no, you're going to come see my stand-up, and then we're going to go out for drinks.
Wait, the first date you took her to your shows?
I had shows.
Dude, you took her to your shows the first date?
I took her, you know what, that really feels, it's like a double or nothing. If she can deal with that, then you know she's probably going to keep
That's very true. And also, like, what a good test of, like, you know, if she's a fan then, right?
Right, if she hated my comedy, that would have been rough.
Gina, my wife, she saw me perform before I even knew her. She asked if I could perform at like a birthday party or something. This was back in the juggling days, of course. And then I was like, I live in New York. And then, but she
Was she still in Wisconsin?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, we did long distance for like 3 years.
Oh wow.
So she kind of, I wouldn't say she was a fan, but she knew, she had seen my work too. So it makes it kind of easier too, because then you don't have to explain to them what you do.
Right, exactly.
I'm saying like to them like they're idiots. No, they're very smart. Women are very smart, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, you have to, you know, I do a comedy at night. Like, what? Are you good? Are you funny? Is it weird? Is it sad? And then,
well, part of that too, yeah. I think if you're like, hey, I'm a comedian, they're like, wait, but like, that's your full-time job?
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
And are you good enough for it to be your full-time job? Like,
True.
Is this going to be a life worth living?
True. We're still trying to figure that out. Some months are very dicey.
She didn't know she was agreeing to move to Las Vegas in 4 days.
Okay, so let's go back to this because I was at the Comedy Cellar with you, and
Yes.
you're going down to the VU. You're coming up, and you're talking with, I think it was Simon Painter.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's this? You're like, oh, I'm working on something with, you guys to see me for something. I'm like, oh, okay, you're kind of being sly. A little sly.
Yeah. Well, also, I didn't want to jinx it.
Sure, which is totally fair. And you don't, look, we're friends, but you don't have to tell me everything. You know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I get a message from Todd Robbins.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, do you want to host the Mermaid Parade with me? Harrison was going to do it, supposed to do it, but he just moved to Vegas for a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And this is how I find out that you just left. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, well, thank you for leaving because I will take the gig. And then
that was one of the saddest gigs I had to give up to go to Las Vegas. I love Coney Island and I love the Mermaid Parade.
Yeah, it was my first time.
That thing was I wanted to do it. I was so excited to do it.
Well,
I was so excited.
It was my first time and it was so
It's
fun.
incredible.
But I don't think I'd be asked back because I didn't really know what kind of energy to bring. It was fine. It went well. I was hot, but yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Okay, so how did this all happen? Like, how did you headlining a Cirque show come to be? Because I also heard that you were only supposed to be there for like a week or two or something to get it off.
For one day.
For one day. Okay, so you talk now.
Yeah, Simon had seen me perform. I worked with him on The Illusionist.
Yes.
His company got bought up by Cirque du Soleil. So Matt Apple started to come together at New York. There's already a couple other comedians in the mix. Mm-hmm. I get a call on a Saturday. I'm literally coming over the bridge that we're about to pass.
Wow.
I'm in a cab from the airport. I just done a gig in North Carolina.
Very fun.
I'm coming back. I'm like finally getting back to my apartment. And I get this call that says, hey, if we put you on a plane tomorrow morning, can you be in the show tomorrow night?
Can you be in the show?
Yeah, it's Saturday night now. We're going to book you a flight. The flight didn't get confirmed or booked till like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Saturday.
What?
I was on a plane at 4 hours later. And then I was in a Cirque du Soleil show Sunday night. They were basically in like audience previews.
Uh-huh.
They hadn't have the official opening night.
Okay.
I brought like 3 pairs of underwear just to be safe.
Oh, okay. In case wait.
They said you're definitely gonna do one show, and if the guy doesn't come back, you might do 2 shows.
Who was the guy?
Well, they had a whole cast, and so like one of the I was filling in that night for one of the comedians.
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And then they said actually he's gonna be back, but like you should stick around. Let's see what happens.
Huh?
So
all right.
all of a sudden I'm now.
By the way, this isn't usually how it works.
No.
Right? Like I
It's
don't think.
crazy. I'm calling Emily, my now wife.
Yeah.
Being like, I think I'm gonna stay in Vegas for a few more days than I expected. So I do the show a second time.
Yeah.
Then they said,
and how's it going? How's like the performance and what are you doing?
Well, it's happening so fast that they're like, just do you. Just do your stuff.
Okay.
All they're checking is making sure that I know where I need to be standing and the microphone's on.
Got it.
That's basically it.
And your time, like how much time you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But there's no rules or restrictions. Like just do you. Like we want a New York comedian.
Got it.
Jew.
Oh.
So I'm doing the act, and then by the end of that week, they had me stick around to the end of the week, and then they offered me a contract to headline the show for over a year.
Wow.
Then I had to call Emily and say, hey, I can fly back to New York.
For over a year.
I can fly back to New York for the next 4 days, and then I'm stuck in Las Vegas doing the show 10 times a week.
And so how did that call go with Emily? Because if I call my wife, I'm like, hey, guess what, baby? We're relocating to Vegas. It'd be a long conversation.
I had this weird feeling that I kept getting calls for gigs that would have stuck me in Vegas.
Yeah.
So about a month or 2 before that call, I took Emily to Las Vegas for her birthday. It was her first time she was ever in Las Vegas. I'm like, you should see this place, because I had this weird feeling it's gonna be, you need to see the place.
Yeah, that made sense.
So when I called her and said like, hey, remember how I was like, you need to see that place? Mm-hmm. Would you be willing to live in that place? And she packed up her apartment, my apartment, our dog, the cat.
How much time did she have to do this?
She had a little bit more time. I was living out of the New York hotel for a month and a half. So I moved from New York.
Is that where the show is, in the New York hotel?
Yeah, so I moved from actual New York to the New York hotel to be in a show about New York. So it's like being from Mexico and moving into Epcot.
That is funny.
It plays with your head.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would like you get in a cab, you say bye to the Chrysler building, and then you walk up to another Chrysler building.
Yeah, a smaller version.
Surrounded by a roller coaster.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, in my room, I was a month and a half in the same room in New York. They're all near the roller coaster.
Oh, so you just hear it all the time?
Yeah, which is kind of nice, because like in regular New York, you also hear people screaming.
Well, that's true. That is very true.
So it's good.
I lived in a hotel for 1 month as well in Macau,
Oh,
at the Venetian, but I had to share my single-person hotel room with Ben Seidman.
Oh, but that's good. Ben's nice.
Oh yeah, we're brothers, so it was fine.
Oh, okay.
But
that's good.
But it was, you know, still a little. It was hard. It wasn't easy.
No.
You know,
the room was not designed for 2 people.
Not at all. We had our own bed, which was nice.
Nice.
And yeah. Anyway, so now so you're in this show, and did you ever feel like, okay, I'm gonna be in this show now for a year, but like I'm gonna lose my momentum, my stand-up momentum. Do you ever think about that, or did that cross your mind?
I wish I could tell you there was a lot of thought that when the decision happened so fast.
Yeah, I would imagine.
That there wasn't much thought other than like, this is really cool. Like,
yeah.
The cast is cool. Cirque Du Soleil's never had a stand-up comedian before in a
Wow.
show. That's really cool.
That's crazy.
They're giving me a lot of creative freedom to actually like do my act.
That's
which is,
really nice.
Like it's uncensored.
Wow.
Which is important.
So you could whip your dick out and no one would care?
I probably could.
Do it. Well, you've done that naked comedy show, right?
I did it back in the day in Boston.
Wow.
It was the first gig I ever got paid for. I was still in college. I did the gig, and then Andy O'Feiss, who ran it, gave me a $20 bill as I was putting my pants back on. And I was like, oh my God, I just got paid to do stand-up comedy.
That was your first paid
But also
gig?
feel a little bit like a whore.
Is that in the
as
book?
That is not in the book.
It should
but
be.
Now it's out on the internet.
There you go. Yeah. This streams right to the internet.
Hello.
Love it. That is so awesome. So let's go back for a second to Mad Apple. So you're doing 10 shows a week.
Oh yeah.
I bet I had some friends go to the show, and they said you were so funny.
Oh, thank you.
They loved you, and they're like, "Do you
Thank
know
you, those friends."
They're like, "Do you know this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know Harrison very well," and so I'm sure you've met a lot of cool people who have come seen you after the show, come say hi, or like you hear that they're like celebrities in the audience.
Yeah, I mean,
who have you met?
We've had some cool people. Miranda Lambert came by. She was really, really sweet.
That's cool.
And then we got to Emily and I got to see her show.
Did you take selfies during her show?
I did not take selfies, although months before that, I clocked that behavior. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like she's performing and they're facing away from her in order to take the selfie with her.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's weird to face the wrong direction at a show.
Yeah, it's just a quick photo. I'm like, what's your problem? Whatever. What's the deal? All right, so, okay, Miranda Lambert.
She was there. We had Shania Twain swing by.
Wow, that's so cool.
David Copperfield has swung by.
Wow.
A lot of magicians. It's Las Vegas is like the smallest big city in the world.
A lot of magicians. Now,
a lot of magicians for sure.
So you're pretty much having like your childhood idols come watch you perform almost every night.
Yeah, I mean it's been pretty wild.
I mean, speaking of Las Vegas magicians, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about our favorite Las Vegas headliner.
I see.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know.
There's nothing I like more than shitting on Criss Angel. He's never done anything to me personally.
Wait, who?
Exactly. The only thing I'm mad at him for is treating my friends poorly. But also, I spent like $300 a ticket once to see his show. So bad I walked out. I was like, I've never walked out of a show before.
I actually don't think I'm allowed to see the show.
Oh, you're definitely not allowed in the theater.
Yeah, I think I'm on a no-no list.
So, do you want to talk about how it's not really like a rivalry, right?
No, I don't want to be his arch nemesis.
No.
It's not. I don't care.
And you don't want, when people search your name into Google, have Criss Angel pop up right next to yours.
That's terrifying.
No, that would be so scary, dude. That would be.
I do this roast every year. It's called like the State of the Magic Union.
All right, State of the Magic Union.
There's a State
roast.
of the Comedy Union at Montreal where they make fun of everything happening in comedy. Mm-hmm. I thought we needed one for magic.
Great idea.
And so
because magicians take themselves way too seriously sometimes.
It's almost easier. I think it's easier than a comedy State of the Union in that sense. Like, there is so much to talk about.
I would imagine.
And it's all insane.
Yeah.
But I roast everybody, and at the end of one of those roasts, I mentioned the fact that Criss had opened a restaurant called Criss Angel's Kablip, which is Criss Angel's breakfast, lunch, and pizza. And the website is eatblip.com and kablip.com. And it was not kabliprestaurant.com because I bought it. And I uploaded a parody of his menu, which I thought was fun. I used to work at Mad Magazine, so like parody is very much like in my blood.
In your repertoire,
like, yeah. So like a menu parody, I'm like, this is what we did.
Great.
Like that's such a mad move.
It was so funny.
And 4 days later, I got a cease and desist, which is honestly, I kind of like, those are a little bit scary.
A little bit, yeah, totally.
Because basically the concept is like, hey, if you don't do what we ask you to do, we're going to sue you. And even if you win, you're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of money to fight this.
Right.
Is it worth it? And when your person that is sending the cease and desist has more resources than you do.
Yes. Who's more famous, more richer. Yeah.
Fortunately though, Public Citizen stepped in. There's this great lawyer represented me pro bono, wrote a response, and we have not heard from him since.
Really? So is the website still up? No. Is it still up?
The website is still up, and the website still. I still encourage people to donate to the Johnny Christopher Children's Charitable Foundation, which is Chris's charity. He set up in honor of one of his kids. It helps kids with cancer. So if you go to the menu and you enjoy it, please donate to that charity because they do great work.
So you're actually really doing a nice thing for him. You're kind of taking the piss out of him, then helping his charity.
Honest to goodness, I think his charity is great, and I really hope it gets all the support that people want to give it. Like it's honestly very, very cool.
Okay, but then so that happened.
Yes.
Then this is like my favorite part. Then you were at Amazing Jonathan's
memorial. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away February 22nd, 2022. So 2/22/22.
Wow.
It was obviously very tough. His wife asked me to speak at the memorial. I was very honored to do so.
Sure.
Criss also asked to speak at the memorial, so he went first, and I was hidden because I think they realized if he knew I was there, he might not have spoken.
That's so funny.
So they hid me in the back.
Okay.
And then I got to roast him and everybody else who was there because it's Amazing Jonathan.
And were you super nervous doing this, roasting Criss while he was in the room?
It honestly felt kind of the whole time. I literally thought to myself, what would Amazing Jonathan do?
Sure.
Because it was, we were trying to remember him, and I was like, Amazing Jonathan would have done this fearlessly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that honestly really that killed any of the nerves because I was doing it for him.
Wow, that's so cool.
Look at this view.
Love it. I love it here. So when I first moved to the city, I remember like one night, some of like the guys from Marymount, which were like, there was like 5, went here and just like, oh, it's pretty cool. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'd never been back here since now.
And I like to picture that some of these apartments are just like houses, like it's one person's house.
That would be awesome. But
It would be incredible.
Look at that view, man. That's so cool. Yeah.
The bridge. The smallpox hospital, that's still scary.
What do you miss about living in New York?
All of it, all of the things.
Yeah.
Bagels, pizza.
Yes.
Not having to drive, that's pretty great.
Oh yeah, do you have a car in Las Vegas?
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah.
I drove with you once and it was terrifying.
I'm not the best.
It's okay. You can't be good at everything.
God, are they gonna play this at my memorial when I die in a car?
No, it's all right. You can't be good at everything. So wait, so you're on stage.
I'm getting better as I drive more, I think.
All right, so you're on stage.
I've only been stranded in the desert one time for 5 hours.
Did that happen?
I was driving between a gig in Palm Springs, shout out to Marvin's Magic Theater, back to Las Vegas, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave after the show, go straight home. Like, I'll be driving in the middle of the night, but what's the worst thing that could happen? Oh, in the Mojave Desert, your right tire completely blows out.
No way.
And you have to call a tow truck, and all the tow trucks are like, oh, the area you're in is where all the tires pop. Like, we're gonna lose tires trying to get to you, so we're not gonna do it.
Well, what do you do?
The third tow truck company said, we'll be there, but it's gonna take a while, so you, in the pitch darkness, hearing coyotes in the middle of the desert, you just hunker down in your car and wait in the darkness.
Terrifying.
It was pretty scary.
Is that recently?
That was, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts, actually.
That's fucking. All right, so wait, I gotta get back to this. Sorry. I've been trying to, I have a tendency to just go all over the place.
Yeah.
So, you're roasting Criss Angel.
Yes.
And do you remember any of the lines you said that were used? Because I've been trying to find video of this. I can't find it. No one will send it to me. Maybe.
Well, it was a private event, so the video is purposely not public.
But I heard there was one. I just want to see it. I won't post it.
Well, for my talk, I got permission from Anastasia to post a clip, to use a clip from it.
Nice.
But it's, I feel one of the jokes was, I've always wanted to be as funny as Amazing Jonathan. That's like kind of being as good at basketball as Michael Jordan, or as bad at naming restaurants as Criss Angel. I said, what is he gonna do? Try to threaten to sue me again? It's like Dying Freak, it's right there.
Dying Freak, so good.
It's right there.
So it's right there.
Kablip?
Kablip is, and it didn't last long. It was open for like 2 months.
I think it's reopened.
Oh, it did?
I think.
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta get you a Kablip shirt.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Really?
If you're in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
you then drive an hour into nowhere, into just desert.
An hour away?
An hour into the desert.
Pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass. It
I
can't
mean, I'm not falling for that again in the middle of the night.
No, it can't be great either.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was an old diner. It was like an old town, like it
All
was
right.
the diner.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Let's continue our stroll.
Oh, yes,
This
yes,
is
yes,
nice.
strolling around.
So, a lot of people come to you when, like, I come to you. I have a new bit. Hey, man, do you think this is funny and stuff? But what is like the one thing that you see people, magicians and comedians, doing wrong that is such an easy fix?
Well, comedians and magicians do different things wrong.
It's two separate questions.
Yeah. For magicians, like the reason I wrote the book is.
Oh, the book. Let's see the book. Oh, wow. You are all terrible. Oh, very cool. Oh, I love it.
No, the reason I did the lecture and the book was, a lot of magic are cover bands. They go to magic stores and they buy material, and they're essentially doing material they didn't create with a script they didn't write, based on a performance that was not theirs. Yeah. And then they, it's like saying you're John Lennon, but really you're like a Beatles cover band.
Okay, what's like an example of a trick like that? Like a banana bandana.
Banana bandana is a rough one because you get the CD at the time. Now I think it's just a download, but like the audio of the jokes aren't yours. It's not your recording.
Right.
So you're really just a robot. You're just miming to something that somebody else created.
Right. Yeah.
And the issue with that is more just if the audience thinks like you had any part in the creative process of that.
Yeah.
Because like when you're a comedian and you're on stage at the Cellar, they assume you wrote your material.
Oh sure. Yeah. There's a. Yeah.
As they should.
As most people do.
That's the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing with magic is really about just creating original material and starting with the idea, which is the thing that comedians do. They're like, I want to write a joke about this, and then they write a joke about that.
Yeah.
In magic, sometimes they buy the trick and then they go, what do I want to say with this?
Okay.
And it's backwards. You got to figure out what you want to say and then pick the trick, or you figure out, you start with the idea and then you figure out how you're going to do that. The best example is like painting, right?
Sure.
So you don't buy blue and then go, I guess I'm going to paint the sky.
Sure.
You go, I'm going to paint the sky. Okay, then I should get a blue paint.
Tools to paint the blue. Okay,
yeah, you don't let the tools dictate the art. The art dictates the tools.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then in comedy,
so you think so you think what magicians are doing wrong is they're forming they're kind of working backwards. They should be working forward. So they're getting
like every other artist. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
And that was just something I picked up by doing, straight stand-up for so long, was realizing that creative process really spoke to me, and I was like, why isn't that the process for magic? So often I'll write the script for the trick without even knowing how the trick works. I'm just like, this would be the funniest, coolest thing to do.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh shit, now I have to figure out how to do it.
Right.
Because I'm not a wizard.
That's true. Taxi. I love New York.
I love that works still.
Yeah.
In this day and age, the whistle?
The whistle? I don't know if it's, I mean, he's not getting a cab.
I don't see any cabs.
We're on Sutton.
Oh, he's trying. Oh, he got one.
Did he really? We're on Sutton Place in 56, walking Midtown.
We're very east.
Very east. But I love this area. It's
great. It's beautiful.
2 years I spent in this area, and you spent, how many years have you lived in that apartment?
14.
I mean, you're not there now, but 14 years.
I was 14 years in this neighborhood.
Wow. Yeah. So cool. Okay, so now hit me up with comics. What are comics doing wrong that you think they should, that's an easy fix?
Well, it depends on your level, right? Like the mistakes beginning comics make versus...
Yeah, maybe start with beginning comics.
Beginning out, you got to get up as much as possible in as diverse rooms as possible. If you play the same room over and over and over again, you get really good at playing that room.
Sure.
And the name of the game is just to be good in general.
All over the place.
Yeah, you want it to work universally.
Right.
So trying different rooms, trying different places, different locations, traveling over the country, that's helpful. That's really, really good.
So doing the brewery shows, doing the bar shows.
Yeah, doing
the clubs, doing the outdoor shows. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game. And then at that point, the audience will tell you what works and doesn't. Like,
that's true.
The key is you only bring things on stage that you are happy with. That's the integrity part. Like, you do the jokes. You don't want to bring a joke on stage just because you think it will do well. You should be doing it because there's an artistic reason for doing it.
Okay.
There's something that you have to say.
Yeah.
But then you only keep the jokes that the audience likes. That's where the audience comes in. So, like, it keeps you both artistically honest.
Yes.
And then also make sure that the jokes are working.
I love it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
When do you get a chance to see any shows when you're in Vegas?
I do sometimes. Yeah, we're off on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We do 10 shows a week 5 days a week, 2 shows every night.
Wow, that's crazy.
So Wednesdays and Thursdays, sometimes I can sneak out and see a show.
And then you also are still doing stand-up.
Well, yeah, so usually on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm actually at the comedy clubs in Vegas.
Do you have a favorite one, or do you just go to
Well, there's a Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas.
That's so wild.
And so it feels like a little bit of a slice of home, which is really, really nice.
How fun is Mark Cohen?
The
He's
best.
the host there.
Truly the best. I love him
what is this?
so much.
This is closed, but that looks
Oh, they're
cool.
building a new bridge.
Fun.
That's really cool. Yeah, Mark is amazing. Mark is unbelievable.
One of the funniest guys in comedy, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's like comedy personified. Like he's the spirit of comedy.
He's
itself.
always on. I got to get him on a Talkie Walkie next time I'm in Vegas.
Hell yeah.
So
Although
great.
walking in Vegas, it depends when you're there.
That's true. Well, I'll
it
be
could
there
be
in
very
October.
hot. Oh, it'll be fine in October.
Yeah, it should be all right.
Yeah. You could walk around the Rio parking lot.
That's probably what we'll end up doing. Walk around. Yeah. Not a great walking town.
No. And it's all built like many people have made this observation, but like the buildings are built as optical illusions. They feel closer than they are.
That's crazy.
So you end up being like, I'll walk to that hotel.
How do they do
and then
that?
It's so far. The size of the windows, the perspective on the tops of stuff. It's all.
So they trick people into walking.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not a bad thing when you think about it.
No, it's pretty good. But when it's 120 degrees and you think
it's not great.
it's going to be a 5-minute walk and it's 30 minutes, it's pretty deadly.
Yeah, that can kill you. That's not the best. That is not great.
It is a dry heat though.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that.
The Vegas locals love telling you that it is a dry 120 degrees.
That's true.
So your lungs are on fire, but it's a dry fire.
Have you seen Carrot Top show?
I have seen Carrot Top.
I love that show. I think
It's
everyone makes
great.
fun of me, but it's so fun.
No, there's no. The guy's been doing that show for 17 years at the Luxor, I think.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it's so polished.
Yeah.
And really interesting and very funny.
And he keeps changing it.
He changes it every show.
Yeah.
He's also a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's great. And there's also the idea of prop comedy. Obviously had its heyday in the 80s.
Sure.
There's a lot more of them.
Yeah.
But like what he's doing is at this point like very like particularly unique. There's not as many of what he's doing out there.
And he's still crushing.
And he's crushing it.
And he sells out and he's funny.
Yeah.
Legit funny guy.
Yeah.
Love that.
I don't know where there's at some point somebody decided he was a target.
Yeah, I mean
the guy is just doing the work.
Just living his dream.
Killing
Wait,
it.
Hold on a second. This is wild. This is why I love New York. What is this place? There's an empty room with a naked lady.
Headless
Naked lady. There's
and a geometric dog.
Another
some
one.
awards. Oh, there's a feet.
This is wild. They got a bad energy rating.
Oh, very inefficient building.
Not efficient at all.
Oh my God, D? A D?
So-
Are they using coal? How do you get a D rating on that? I've never seen that.
Oh,
That's
God.
like, what is that?
I saw another D
Is it
rating
powered
today.
by like endangered birds?
A lot of the buildings that I think like have AC on in their lobbies or something get a bad rating. I don't know why.
I think you need to have just energy efficient appliances, and they were just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I guess.
Our air conditioner is powered by fossil fuels.
A D's not even trying.
D, you're actively working to put things in that are bad.
Yeah.
For sure.
God, and this dog is massive too. Jesus Christ.
That is a big dog.
That is a huge dog. That is insane.
My dog is little.
Your dog is, yeah, you have a cute dog though.
My dog
you
is
have the
cute.
perfect New York City dog.
Well, one of the funny stories with Rufus, by the way, Rufus is named after George Carlin's character in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Look at how big that dog is.
Yeah, that's a big dog.
So big. That I did not know that.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of Bill and Ted? I didn't.
I'm a big fan of George Carlin.
Oh, all right.
And Emily immediately rejected George and Carlin as names of the dog.
Carlin's a cute name.
Carlin would not have been a bad name.
Carlin's a cute name maybe for a kid if you have kids.
That would be pretty good. But then I was like, what about Rufus? That's the name of Carlin's character in Bill and Ted, and that's a very good dog name.
It's a great dog name.
Rufus is like, except when you're like, oh, Roofie. Turns out that's a weird thing to scream out.
Yeah. Don't scream out Roofie.
That's a bad nickname for Rufus.
Yes, that's not great.
Yeah, but we took Rufus to New York Hotel, and it looks like outside New York, but it's inside. It's a replica.
Oh, I've never been there.
They have like fake New York streets. There's sewer grates. I mean, it looks like this, but small in a hotel.
He's like, oh my God, am I home?
He tried to pee on everything.
Oh my God.
I mean, because he couldn't. I think his dog brain was like, "What do you mean this is inside?
That's hilarious. I love
this
that.
is outside."
I love that.
But kudos to the architects. They fooled the dog.
That is true. That is true. You're great at writing jokes.
Oh, thank you.
What's your like writing process like?
It's the writing process is take everything on stage and then just work the shit.
Oh, so you just write on stage?
No. I mean, like the idea is you work on the bit.
Yeah.
And when you feel like it's ready to bring it on stage, you bring it on stage.
Yeah.
And then you just work that thing. Like
yes.
my Lightning Roy bit took me. I worked on it for a while. It wasn't getting the laughs I thought it should have gotten.
Okay.
I put it aside for a little bit. Then I brought it back, and within a week I realized, the format is every lightning strike. I was like, okay, now I have a framework.
Great.
And then that's when the work starts again. It's like, okay, I have the framework, but now what is every beat going to be? And it took 6 months to get that joke into shape.
Wow. That actually.
That's like a 2.5 minute bit.
It's not a short bit. Yeah, that's great. 6.5 months seems like the right amount of time to have a. I mean, but that's someone. It was still getting laughs when you were doing it before that, but it just wasn't where you thought it should be, right?
Yeah, ideally that thing is getting a laugh every like 10 seconds, like big laughs.
Now, are you still performing that bit?
I take it out once in a while just to make sure I still remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too now with some of my older stuff. Now, I only have been doing stand-up for like 5 years, like without the juggling, so it's a little different for me. So I feel I'm more newer, I'm greener when it comes to the whole writing process.
Yeah, and it's also sometimes you'll do a joke for 2 years and then, I mean the thing is nowadays. It feels weird to even say that because like you're supposed to do jokes for like a year, record the special, and never think of them again.
I think that's a dying model though. I really do. Don't you?
I mean, if you look at some of Carlin was every 2 years.
Okay.
Seinfeld's every like 10 years.
Right.
So, like Attell writes more jokes than anybody, but does not put out a special every year.
Yeah. So I was talking to Mark Norman, and he was telling me that when you're a new comic, when you first start getting into comedy, it'll take you about 10 years until you're happy with your first hour.
Yeah, every subsequent hour comes along faster.
Yeah, much faster. So I still have some time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I am scared of putting out like a special or something and then be like, all right, I gotta do all new stuff. Like that is daunting.
But for me, that feels so fun. I love that.
Oh, I would too, especially if the special I put out actually did something.
Yeah.
Actually move the needle a little bit. But you never know these days what's gonna do it.
Yeah.
It used to be late night appearances. You were on Conan.
Yeah.
But now it seems like viral videos might move the needle more than like being on the Late Show or the Tonight Show.
Well, like look at the numbers. Like a social media clip on TikTok or Reels or whatever gets more views than some of these TV shows by like a large margin.
Yeah, that is very true. That is true. Yesterday was, I saw you yesterday, and I was
I don't know why I keep waving at the camera.
I don't know, you can wave.
It's because it's a camera, so I'm like, we're selfieing. That part of my brain kicks in.
Yeah, I should, maybe we'll use that as the thumbnail. It's hard to find like a clip where like we're both like, there we go, looking happy in the city.
We got it.
Nailed it. So I did 2 new joke nights yesterday.
Yes.
And I love working new material. It's so fun because nothing makes me happier than like writing a new joke at home and then going to a club for like the first time and saying it and it gets a laugh. Even if it's not the biggest laugh, I'm still like, haha.
And that's the addiction too, is like
so addicting.
When a joke works, you're like, yeah.
And it feels like
I worked on this joke for a really long time and I've ironed this thing out and polished these things out.
Yeah.
But then when a new joke that you don't know if it works, when it does work, it feels like it feels like winning the lottery. It's so exciting.
Good. It feels so good because
like, oh my God, this worked. I created a thing and it made people laugh.
You can do it forever, like if you want. So I thought what I could do right now, I wrote some quick jokes.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you think of them.
All right.
These are all new jokes.
Yeah.
Only done on New Joke Night. Wrote them yesterday.
Okay. I love it. Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses. Okay. So the first one is actually about Marymount. I went to school for theater.
We walked by Marymount.
We did.
Perfect.
It goes, this setup might be a little long. Okay. It goes, I went to school for theater here, which let's be honest, that's like majoring in homeroom. It's not real. Most of the people I went to college with who took acting super seriously don't even act anymore. One of them's addicted to cocaine. So either way, he's calling for a line.
I think you could cut most of that premise.
I knew it was a little long.
But also the idea of like, it's like majoring in homeroom. I think we could swap that out for something else.
Okay.
It'd be a stronger punchline.
What do you think?
It's like majoring in,
in pretend, in make believe,
that could
in show
work,
and tell,
or just waitressing, waitering. Or that, I mean, that's the other, maybe that's the other switch is, I studied theater in college because waiter's not a major.
Yeah, well, I would always say, I'm just doing the acting thing until my waitering career takes off.
Right, there you go.
But the calling for a line joke is supposed to be like the big punch
Or
there.
any of the schools. You could talk about like any of these like performance art schools. They always brag about how many actors, like famous actors, will come out of the school.
Yeah, that is true.
But when you look at the numbers, it's like 2 per year.
Yeah, it's not.
So the numbers aren't on your side, Marymount.
Yeah.
If I was a betting man, this is a bad bet.
Marymount had some pretty good
Their numbers are pretty good.
But I mean, for the amount of people they take in that they push out then, and I only went there for 2 years.
They should have to put out a pie chart. They say these are 10
really
famous
should.
people that came out of the school, and these are the 10,000 nannies.
And yes, I did nanny.
There we go.
I did nanny. As we passed PJ Clark's.
There we go.
But I like.
This is where the proproposal ended, basically.
Did it really?
Because there was little clues hidden all over the neighborhood. We
you
walked by
took
some
her on
of
a
those
scavenger
places.
hunt?
Well, she went on a hunt. I was setting up at the final location.
She knew, right? She knew what was
Oh,
going on.
yeah. Well, as soon as the thing started, she knew what was going on. I was like, basically like, you're going to have to find me if you want me to propose to you.
Wow.
And so she would scan these little QR codes that I hid in these different restaurants and stores. And PJ Clark's, when she scanned that one, she had to trace her path of all the places she went. Turns out she made a big heart. And then at the end of it, we went to the roof of my building, and I set that up for the proposal. There's candles. It was very Bachelor.
I love that.
The Bachelor. And
did you film this, or did you have?
Yeah. Because it was the pandemic, so we had Ruben Moreland filmed it.
Oh, yes.
He did an incredible
Oh,
job.
I'm sure he did.
And it was very cold. So God bless him and my now wife for doing this in January, running around outside.
January.
We knew it would be cold. I didn't realize it would be very, very cold.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's take you back home here.
Oh, all right.
We are having good time
The
here.
Dwayne Reed.
The Dwayne Reed still here. Now, so much changes.
This used to be an Outback Steakhouse.
I remember that. Yes.
And the kids' meals had the same size cheeseburger as the adult meal, pretty much. But it was way cheaper, and I was a starving comedian.
Yeah.
So I had to pretend I had a child. So I believe this Outback Steakhouse thought I was a 21-year-old with a 12-year-old child.
That's hilarious.
I don't know how the math works out, but it worked out in my favor because I got very cheap cheeseburgers.
There you go. I remember they had a convenience store in the dorm building, and I would had a little 5-finger discount a few times.
No.
Yeah, it was not. Like, it's hard to go to school here when you're broke. It's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, I lived off of dollar pizza for a very long time. And that really fucks your math up.
Not bad.
Because you'd be like, how much is that drink? And they're like $14. And you're like, that's almost 2 full pies of pizza.
That's crazy.
I would rather have 2 pies of pizza.
Absolutely.
Than 1 drink?
Yeah. You out of your mind?
Yeah. It changes your math. I got a lot of falafel.
I did a lot
ramen.
of hot dogs on the street.
On the street?
Like, the hot dogs.
You never went to Rudy's? Rudy's was a bar in Hell's Kitchen, and with every drink you got free hot dogs.
Oh, there was one that gave you pizza, right? Like a little
Alligator
pizza.
Lounge, Crocodile Lounge.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a comedy show at one of the lounges, the Brooklyn one, the Alligator Lounge.
Yeah.
I think that was Alligator.
Was it good?
The pizza was actually pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And you got 1 free pizza for basically per drink.
It was like 2 hot dogs for like $3.
That's
when
it,
I would be walking back. I missed 2004. When I was like walking back to
when
or
dollar
from
pizza
school.
was $1.
Oh yeah, 100%. It still is, but it's not great.
There's a couple of dollar pizzas I've been to here, and then they're like, "That's $1.50," and I'm like, "Then you need to change the sign."
There's one by New York Comedy Club.
That is $1.
I think it's $1 one, or it's cheap. It's really good.
They used to give you the penny back. It used to be 99-cent pizza, and they would give you the penny back. And then they were like, "Okay, fine, it's $1 pizza."
Yeah, we're keeping the.
No one's gonna not go over this penny.
That's true.
And I was fine with it.
New York has great pizza, but you're gonna hate me. I still love Domino's. I think it's it's so good.
Emily really likes Domino's.
It's good.
I love it's John's, right? The pizzeria right by the cellar.
Yes.
That's the best.
Yeah, John's is good.
It's like the best sort of like classic regular slice.
Yeah, the one that's like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's good.
And I remember when the pandemic was we were just getting to go out and do spots like at the cellar and all those places. And I remember putting a feast together for Emily because there was a bunch of foods we hadn't had in a long time. And we got a pizza from there, a slice from Artichoke, the pommes frites, and the falafel.
You just went down McDougal.
Went right down McDougal, and we ate like kings, and it was great.
That is so cool. A couple more questions real quick.
Of course.
Now that you're headlining the Cirque show in Vegas, there's a lot of press, a lot of promo with you involved.
A lot of walks with GoPros.
Are you getting, yes, and this is really going to blow you up.
This is really fun.
Are you getting recognized now?
I do get recognized on occasion in Las Vegas. I'm on all the billboards.
Right.
I've
seen it.
So for the wedding, we had a rehearsal dinner, and we're like, where do we do it? And there's this great place called Brewdog, which is this rooftop right across from New York, actually. And it has this really great view of the Strip. We're like, this would be a great rehearsal dinner place, because it's like, hey, we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
You might as well show Vegas.
Yeah.
We booked that like a month before the wedding. Between booking it and the wedding, Cirque decided to put the Mad Apple ads on every screen on the Strip.
Love it.
So we had a rehearsal dinner where about every 3 to 5 minutes I would appear on every billboard, and everybody thought that's why I booked that restaurant.
Is it the one where you're like jumping up like this?
Yeah, and I'm doing it like in the rant, I'm like yelling at one point.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's 2 shots, but it's just like everybody thought, I was like, I swear to you.
That's so funny.
When we booked it, that was not a thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I remember the first time we left Las Vegas, we came to New York.
Yeah.
Because the first break I got, I was like, we got to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we landed back in the airport, I was on the airport screens, and that was very surreal.
Yeah.
It was very surreal.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
It is cool. Yeah. I went to another Cirque show, and I was like in the gift shop like Beatles Love, and I got recognized because somebody was seeing all the Cirque shows. They're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, this is our off night. I want to see the other one.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
wait, you can see the Cirque shows for free because you're in a Cirque show if there's tickets?
Yeah, we got
that's cool.
certain family tickets.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, so Harrison, where can people find you who are watching this and maybe they want to go to Vegas and see you or they want to see your stand-up?
Yeah, HarrisonGreenbaum.com is the website. At Harrison Comedy is all my socials, TikTok, Instagram, X. It's X now?
Yeah, it's weird to say that.
It is very weird.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Are you on Threads?
I'm on Threads
There
at
you go.
Harrison Comedy. There you go.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy the book, tannins.com.
Oh, you have a book?
It's here.
I'm reading that this weekend. I'm going to Tampa.
Let me know what you
I'm
think.
doing side splurs. I'm going to read the book.
This book took, if you include the lecturing, 8 years to write.
Wow.
3 years if you just include the actual process of writing and laying
There
it
are
out.
photos in there, like illustrations.
There's so many things in there.
I can't wait.
I made this challenge where there are other books about how to write comedy. The second half of the book is how to like a sort of thesis on like this is how I think you can make jokes stronger and better.
Oh, okay. So if you're a non-magician like myself, I might still get something out of the book.
The second half will absolutely apply. I mean, sort of one of the big reveals of the comedy chapters that applies to any art or any communication.
Love that.
Those are rules of just of getting your message across.
Yeah.
Well. So I think it does have a bigger audience than just specifically magicians.
Great.
But where was I going? Oh, well, I wanted it to be a comedy book, and I felt weird if a comedy book wasn't itself funny.
Yeah.
Because how can you tell people this is how you're funny and then have it be really serious?
Right.
So that became the real challenge, is making the book like there's a lot of jokes. I tried to put there's like 2 or 3 jokes a paragraph.
Woo! I can't wait.
That was the goal.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it. Harrison Greenbaum, thanks for doing this, man.
Of course, it's so good to see you.
You have a lot of time in the city, so I'm really happy we got this done.
I'm about to run out and do spots.
Yeah, are you really? Where are you tonight?
I'm at The Cellar. I'm at West Side Comedy Club, Stand Up New York.
Nice.
I'm running all over the place.
All right, well, catch Harrison in the city on his days off or in Vegas when he's working.
Yeah, Mad Apple at New York. Follow me at Harrison Comedy. Follow Marcus.
Follow him, follow me, follow him, follow everyone. All right, talkie-walkie.